Good morning, guys. Anthony here, Bibles and Barbells Ministry. It is Sunday, July 14th, 2024. Many of you, or most of you watching this video, have probably stood glued to your TV sets yesterday during the day and the evening hours. I know once I found out about it, I was watching the various news reports. Particularly, I was watching Fox News coverage of the event. But when the event happened with Donald Trump, the assassination attempt, I was at a hotel, a hotel lobby in Fort Mill, South Carolina, meeting with a friend and his family that I haven't seen in about 10 years. And in the lobby, there was no news reports on or TV. I was starting to get phone calls from family members. I picked up the phone and they had said, "Did you hear Trump got shot?" And then we looked on our phones and we saw some of the coverage that was happening at the time. Continued my meeting with them, or my visit with them briefly. They were on their way to Florida, and they stopped over just overnight at a hotel there. So I was glad I got to see them. Then when I went home, I started interacting with family members, people on our chat group. Went over to my mom and dad's house, was talking to them. And in the background, things were playing and coverage was showing. And this assassination attempt, scenario, whatever we want to call it, there's definitely, and I'm not going to do a deep dive on it on this video, there's definitely a lot of suspicion, a lot of suspect of the Secret Service, different law enforcement that was involved, people that were paraded in front of the cameras and being interviewed, saying that one in particular, the red-headed guy with the MAGA hat, saying that, "Hey, we saw a guy crawling up on the roof. We told police. We told Secret Service. Blah blah blah." The pictures of a ladder against the roof of the building in question, where the shooter took the shots from. That roof not being protected or guarded by the Secret Service to begin with, regardless of their manpower shortages or instances where they asked for more manpower, they were denied by Mayorkas or the DHS. Those are all things that have to be investigated. We know a lot of that stuff is true. We've seen it. I think we've seen written requests where Trump was denied coverage, more beefed up protection. I did see that he was wearing a vest, because looks like he took a round to the side of the chest here, in the lung area. Just a lot of things with the crowd and with how the Secret Service, I guess, tackled him on stage and took him off. I thought we had, and it was protocol, I'm not sure if it is, maybe you guys in law enforcement can refresh my memory, but those shields that riot police carry, they're like bulletproof shields. Wouldn't have those been like readily available for certain agents to come on stage and hold those up, or police backup, rather than just shield with the body? I know the shielding with the body is important, but they stood him straight up in the face. If there were other shooters in the crowd, especially another one down the center, his whole head was open for a time period where they stood him up. Shouldn't they have dragged him low off the stage? And I'm just playing Monday morning quarterback here, but there's a lot of things that don't add up with this assassination attempt. And then the text messages that I've got back and forth. Maybe one day I'll go through and read them. But I try to tell family members that as a Trump supporter, which many of them are staunch Trump supporters, the flag, the red hats, rah, 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 America, freedom, all this bill of goods that we've been sold, that I've been warning people about for the last 4 years, that was coming. I'm going to tell you right now, do not fall for this. I see people already online making videos. I've received texts from people. this solidifies the election. Trump is in, hands down. No Democrat will ever be elected. It's going to be, a slaughter at the polls, all this stuff. And I don't think that's the scenario. I think that's a scenario many people are dreaming about and hoping for. But that's a scenario that, again, I'm watching a video here of him raising his fist in the air. His head is wide open here. If if there was another shooter, which there could have been in a bigger plot, let's say, 3 or 4 shooters from different angles. I don't know. But he was definitely open for other shots here by the Secret Service. I don't understand that. The Secret Service members on the rooftops, the 2 snipers that supposedly took out the shooter, I'm seeing videos that it said that they were waited something like 20 or 42 seconds, let the guy get off 8 rounds before, shooting him. That's all, probably going to come out in the investigations more as the days go on. But my biggest question when I walked in the door from my visit with my friend, my wife had the news on. My biggest question was when they started showing the rooftops. I said, I'm not in law enforcement, and the first thing I would have done if I was in charge of the protection there is get that rooftop, somebody on that rooftop with a rifle, or somebody guarding that building, or something. Get that building off limits. It's only, under 200 yards away, whatever. It's a sniper shot away, easy sniper shot away from a president talking on a podium out in the middle of a field with nothing around him. None of those, plexiglass bulletproof things. I mean, that stuff is standard. I see it all the time when world leaders are talking. It'll deflect a bullet or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. The message of this video is you're being sold a bill of goods as Americans. I've told you in many, many videos before. A political savior that they're giving us now with this attempted assassination attempt. He's becoming a Messiah-like figure, a savior. That is what a lot of people are clinging to as hope and change for this country. America needs this. He's for freedom. He's with us. I got texts over and over again from family members last night. He's with us. He's on our side. I says, what's our side? The good ones. We're the good ones. We're the good guys. And the good guys always win. And I stood back, answered the text back, and I said, getting back to biblical prophecy, I said, the good guys do not win. Okay? This scenario that's coming for the world, the good guys don't win, whoever you think they are. The good guys, many of them, get sucked into the beast system and get fooled. It says the whole world gets fooled and worships the beast. This is biblical, what's happening. It's a biblical scenario playing out. Good doesn't win. There's a tribulation period of evil that takes place, which we're building up to now, and which you can see if you're really looking with spiritual eyes, if you're really born again and following Messiah and following his commandments, like I've been telling you over and over again, and you are a true believer, you can see through the veneer because the Holy Spirit gives you the eyes to see that. He gives you the eyes to see that. Good does not triumph over evil during the tribulation period. The saints or the believers become persecuted and run and hide, and they still, yes, preach and exist, but they're persecuted. Good doesn't rule during that period. The Antichrist rules and the false prophet powered by the dragon for that period of time. In the end, yes, in the end, good, which is Messiah, not you and me, good is Messiah, Jesus, Yahushua, comes back, the second coming, to display his wrath, the wrath of the Most High. That's where good overcomes evil. Up until that point, evil is victorious, because it says in the Bible that if he doesn't come back, all the world will be destroyed. In other words, if he doesn't come back when he does in a time period future, at the end of the tribulation period, the 7-year tribulation period, if he doesn't come back, Jesus himself said everything would be, in other words, Satan would destroy everybody and kill everybody. So yes, at that point, good wins. Up until that point, good doesn't win. Good doesn't triumph. Evil is triumphing over good, and good is being paraded as good, but it's really evil in disguise to get people fooled and give them a Messiah figure to follow. Are you following what I'm saying? That's why I warn people to stay out of supporting Trump, stay out of the election cycle, don't vote. Presidents are selected, not elected. That's the reason we're seeing it now live being played out. Now it's going to be even more dangerous because there is brewing an undercurrent that I'm seeing of, let's get this war started. Let's get this. Friends, we're in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. Another show right here, the flag behind Trump and him raising the fist. You know, most people are really good. They're not really good with the fist thing when it's on the Antifa flag, or Nazis or communists do it. But if Trump does it with an American flag behind it, it's good. You know, we'll follow it. Yeah, fight, I think he said. Here he's wide open for another shot. Another gunshot, if there was another shooter. Just things I have problem with. This video's posted, this quote is from Albert Pike, a 33-degree Freemason, whom Donald Trump is a 33-degree Scottish Rites Freemason. You could tour their palace or their chapel, whatever they have in Washington, D.C., and see all the Freemasonic, Kabbalistic, New Age, Lucifer-worshipping things in that temple, which they say are not. They're just, men wanting to do good for the world. But Albert Pike, who was a 33-degree Freemason, talks about if they want a hero, we'll give them one. In other words, now we see that what that really means. Now we're given a hero. Donald Trump has just been elevated to hero status. He survived a possible mortal head wound, which the Bible also talks about in the book of Revelation, that the Antichrist receives a mortal head wound, which I won't go down that road yet, but that's been prophesied as well, because the Apostle John saw that in his vision. And when he recovers from that mortal head wound, he gets worshipers, people following him. And we're seeing scenes played out here that are truly biblical in their scope, and that's why I'm on my way to work right now. I've got to go do some jobs. I have to make money. I will come back later, hopefully, and do some videos, but I'm interested to see how the investigation is going to go by the deep state, which, if you see already, I watched some of the press conference last night with that FBI guy talking and the local police guy from Butler County. Now, I'm from that area. I lived in Beaver County, which is a neighboring county to Butler, for 7 years. I went to school in Western PA. Clarion University of Pennsylvania. My wife is from that area, the Beaver County area. She's born and raised there. A lot of my friends are from that area, Pittsburgh. I'm very acquainted with Butler County, the farmlands and all the rolling hills there, and the flatlands and the farming. I'm very familiar with that area. My county was right next to it. I lived in Beaver, PA, in downtown Beaver, right in the town. We lived there for 7 years before I got promoted and moved to South Florida right before 9/11 happened. And so I'm very familiar with that area, the people in that area that live there. And so it kind of hits home for me. I love that whole area there, and I would go back to live up there. I really like Beaver County, Pennsylvania. I really liked living there. But I had to do things for my family when I was younger to keep us growing as a family. But So very familiar with that area. And I just wanted to make this video giving my 2 cents on what I've seen so far. And the deep state's not going to investigate this like it should. In fact, Fox had a guy on last night that said the first thing that should happen is now the president, which is Joe Biden, should call the head of the Secret Service, the head of the FBI, and the head of the Department of Justice, get them together and get an immediate press conference set up where they talk to the people, put them at ease, tell them that this is all under this is an assassination attempt. We're going to investigate it with the utmost of our resources and abilities, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that happened yet that I know of, unless I missed something. I saw a press conference with an FBI guy not answering anything, of course. The guy on the roof, the patsy, whoever they killed on the roof, the shooter was. Would the guy just wake up one day and say, I'm going to climb on this roof? It's not a guarded building. I'm going to get a clear shot at the president. I mean, how stupid do you think people are? That this was not some type of setup or ritualistic type thing happening. Crisis actors, all these things come into play when I see these news reporters from the BBC talking to a guy saying, hey, we saw this and we told the police, they didn't do anything. They waited X amount of time before they did anything. We see rooftops being let open in open air. I mean, if you look at the drone footage of the elevation of the layout there, that building's right in shot line. That's the first thing, the building that should have been, snipers should have been on that roof too. So I think there's more questions to be asked as to why this and how this was allowed to happen. Glad he had a vest on. I don't think he was used to wearing one, but I heard that he did take advice from his handlers to wear a vest this day that he, did the speech, the rally. And so it's 9:22 a.m. Eastern Time right now as I make this video on the 14th, July 14th, the next day after this assassination attempt. I wanted to make a video for my vlog, for my channel. I will put a video that I made several weeks ago on my 7 election scenarios. Made that before Biden was, deemed unfit to stand as president. This was all before all this happened. I didn't predict I don't like to talk about assassination attempts or things like that on video, make predictions on that. But over the course of the last couple of years, if you talk to people that know me, I talked about mentioning to them that I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to do this to Donald Trump. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be out of the equation based on the evil and the manipulation that is going on right now worldwide. So in closing this video, we have a lot coming on our plates from now until so-called selection season, which is November. We have a looming pandemic meeting in October. I think it's the 4th, where they'll be meeting, the world minds will be meeting in Washington, D.C. to discuss the bird flu pandemic that's coming. And if you looked at the rollout or the list of what they're going to talk about at that summit in Washington, D.C., and you read some of the things that they're going to be discussing, we're talking lockdowns, we're talking control of the narrative, we're talking police, fire, rolling out of vaccine and other therapeutics. So what is coming down the pike with that? That's a whole nother scenario. And I talk about it in the videos that I'm going to put in the link. Could it be a perfect storm coming where we have a pandemic, civil unrest in the country, an outbreak of, lockdowns, climate lockdowns, destruction with weather and hurricanes, all converging right before November? And how can that spell out disaster for the elections, or cancellation of the elections, or postponing of the elections? A lot could happen. And I want to close with this, just to keep people thinking, that Let me go to my X account, or Twitter. I don't like to call it X. I'm Big Ant on X. I posted a channel by the name of J.J. Carroll. If you follow him on X, I can't find it, darn it. If you follow him on X, I think he's on Instagram as well, but X, he posts more stuff. He has a video or a movie coming out. He's an ex-Border Patrol agent. And he's been doing a deep dive investigation on illegal immigration and all this. He's making a movie, a documentary that's coming out, I think, in October. And he posted yesterday, "The Howls of Conspiracy Begin." This is his page, J.J. Carroll. I don't know if you could see it. Oh, darn it. It's J period, Carrell, Carrell, at JJ Carrell 14. So that's him on X. And he posts this: "The howls of conspiracy begin. A few data points that I have already stated and researched to be true." Now, this guy's in the system. In other words, he's seen what was going on when he was an agent, and now that he's retired and independent investigations or whatever, under Biden, 30 million illegals entered. 45 to 50 million illegals are here in America. Well, let these numbers sink in. I think there's 360 million people in America, as our population is. 1 million Venezuelans, 1 million Haitians, 250,000 SIAs/terrorists. Now, these numbers are staggering. 250,000 Russians, whom we say we're at war with. 500,000 UACs, children lost. Majority of all the adults that are here are single military age adult males. Let these numbers sink in. And you tell me if there's freedom coming down the road, or hope and change, or MAGA, or whatever is going to solve this problem. All true, and now you don't believe 120,000 Chinese PLA soldiers are here, after the DHS states that 210,000 Chinese have been arrested. That I don't believe. Meaning another 200 to 300 or 400,000 Chinese cross the open and unmanned border. Just let these numbers sink in. They're staggering. And we're at war with China and Russia? From what our politicians say, we're at war with them, or getting ready to go to physical kinetic war. But yet we allow all this to come in our country. Something's fishy here, guys. Something's not adding up on my plate. I don't know, maybe you think otherwise. Hundreds of thousands of children have been sex trafficked by our government and are all flying illegal aliens into America in the middle of the night. 440,000 that DHS was forced to admit, and again, this is what you won't believe. I mean, the numbers are staggering. And mostly military-age males, but yet we're somehow going to this freedom rallies and utopia that's here, and one guy's going to make a change, an 80-year-old guy that just got shot in the head. He's going to make the changes we need and give us the victories we need. We're being played left, right of the same puppet masters. They're going to give us the hero. The puppet masters just gave us the hero to rally behind. For what? To expose the people that they want to target, possibly. My advice: stay true to your faith in Messiah if you are a follower. Follow his commandments closely. Abandon everything else that Americans celebrate, that are any slightest thing do with Satan, satanic worship, other gods, etc. You know what I'm talking about, the false feasts. And follow the true feasts. Get back to your roots as a believer. Abandon political saviors and focus on the one true Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. Then you'll have inner peace in the midst of tribulation, because that's what's coming. No one man is going to save us. No political entity is going to save us. Left, right, Republican, conservative, Christian conservatives. You're all being fooled. Take off your red hats, put your flags away, and worship the one true Elohim. That's my advice. That's what I'm doing. You do what you think you need to do. Our political system is corrupted. The men in office and women in office are corrupted. They're giving the country over to the beast system. The puppet masters are playing us like the flute and the violin. Like a Stradivarius, they're playing us. Americans are getting played. That's my opinion. That's from what I'm seeing through spiritual eyes. Government represents the people, right? Has supposed to have the same ideals and values as the people. Well, if that's the case, we're definitely a lost cause. And if this is the road we continue to go down, no one's going to save us. We need leaders that are moral, godly values, biblical values, not just lip service. God bless. God save Donald Trump. The hand of God does many things. The hand of God also acted upon in Egypt upon Pharaoh to do and orchestrate the will of the Most High. So yes, he could orchestrate evil people and kings and put people in power, and he put people in power like Nebuchadnezzar to overthrow Israel because they were not following him and stiff-necked. So he raised up enemies to take them over. Yes, he has his hand in everything for a reason. That's my video this morning. I just wanted to make this update, hopefully shed some light on things, my belief on things, my take on some things, but there's a lot more questions that have to be answered in this investigation than it looked to me like some type of show or something. It doesn't seem right. The fist bumping, the fight, this whole thing, it doesn't sit right with me for some reason. I don't know. I didn't want to see anything like this happen, but I'm just I'm more in fear, if you will, now than ever before for our country and what's coming down the pike, especially with these staggering numbers of illegal military-age men that are getting money from our government. If that stops or dries up or gets interrupted somehow, what do we do? What are they going to do? Oh, we'll have civil unrest. Yeah. And it ain't going to be like you think it's going to be. Let's put it that way. Anthony signing off. Stay ready. Isaiah 40:29. God bless.